Welcome back. The topic of this session is writing a business plan. We are going to discuss the various elements of the business plan and the information that are contained so that you can project your business as a winning proposition before whosoever you are going to present. First off, let us make a distinction between business model and business plan. They are not the same thing, though they refer to the same thing, but they are distinctly different. Business model is the business that someone does or some team, a group of co-founders do to solve a problem through a superior value proposition compared to competitors so that they can acquire and retain customers, and finally they can serve the customer through a profitable proposition. On the contrary, business plan is the description of the business model, meaning how you are going to execute the business model is a detailed elaboration of that, how you create competitive advantage, what are your unique selling proposition, how you are going to compete with competitors, how you are going to remain ahead of competition, what are the strategies that you are going to adopt to overcome the various challenges or the risks that you foresee that are likely to come. So this is what is business plan. So business plan is a written document that you present before an audience, or maybe it may remain with you as a ready reckoner as to what are your milestone and what you are going to achieve, etc., etc. So that is the succinct difference between business plan and business model. Now, if one has to define the business plan, the simplest form is that it's a guide, a roadmap for you, for your business, that outlines the goals and how you plan to achieve those goals. Goals, or maybe perhaps it's better to say how you're going to achieve the maybe mission vision. Ideally, the plan explains why you think you will be successful. So you have to prove before your audience that there are compelling reasons. You are going to give that reasons while explaining the challenges ahead, that these are the challenges and this is how we are going to overcome the challenges and become winner. Now the purpose of business plan. Before we enter into the elements of business plan, the purpose, most important purpose is, it is an entrepreneur's ready reckoner. It remains with you and you follow that, or you revise that continuously depending on changing circumstances. Even more important than that is raising fund. Whenever you are raising fund, whether from an angel or VC, or maybe you are pitching before a kind of a committee where you will be incubated or accelerated. Even sometimes you invite some customers in a room and then you pitch before them about your objectives and how you are going to satisfy how their aspiration and your aspiration kind of converge at one point so that everybody feels win-win. You can also pitch before your mentor or maybe potential buyer of your company at some point of time. So these are the reasons why you write a business plan. Before we dive into the business plan per se, here are some of the points that are critical for any business to be successful. So obviously these should form integral part of your business plan. What are these? The people, number one. Most VCs say we invest in the people, not really in the product or service. So people are most important. Who are the founders? What do they bring to the enterprise? Key employees means what are their skills and commitment? Mentors, directors. The opportunity. Opportunity is about everything. Opportunity involve the risk and or the challenges, and the opportunity that you identify in the challenge. Because if there is an opportunity, without a challenge, opportunity doesn't exist, it evaporates within no time. So definitely there are challenges and you are overcoming the challenges to create an opportunity in that. So you kind of identify the pain point, the competing solutions available, so you come up with a superior value proposition, etc. The context means what is the industry scenario now, it is the big picture, and you want to say why this is relevant at this point of time, why we think that this is the right time for this business to be successful. The risk and reward. The whole presentation will be around risk and reward, because you are in front of investors or people that matters, and there for every business, a business is around a risk and reward, meaning you are trying to alleviate some pain, and that comes with a lot of risk because there are competitors, there are other people who are waiting to grab this opportunity, and you have a superior proposition or superior execution strategies that you are going to convert, the challenges into rewards, and your audience will be interested to understand that reward, means how the investors are going to reap the benefit, or how you are going to create value for you, for the nation, for all the employees, for all other stakeholders. So whatever is the motive, the final objective is that you want to project, or you want to show how you think that there are compelling reasons for you to be successful, meaning how you are going to navigate through challenges to emerge and become successful. Your focus must be to bring that story before the audience. Okay, now coming to the main topic of the day, major components of business plan. There are many templates available. I'll show you some of them, but we're going to adopt this for further discussion, and I have the reference for this particular template in the next slide. So it starts with the cover page. Before even going to that, know that there are two formats of business plan. One is a written document that you send across to either funding agencies or investors, or maybe in a competition. That is a text document. Whereas there is another format that you present before the audience in person. That is a PowerPoint document mostly. So there are two formats. Today we are discussing the written document. What are the items that are to be there in the document, written format, and for that, cover page is a very important thing. Remember that first impression is the lasting impression, and cover page is the page what is visible when your business plan is stacked with many other business plans. So when somebody is flipping through the plans, your plan, the cover page itself should catch their eyes, their attention. So immediately they should think that, okay, this looks so professional, so they will immediately pick that up and then flip the pages. So cover page actually should be such that your business plan stands out of the crowd. Content is again very important. Why so? Because people do not have time to go through the entire business plan to understand what all you have covered. Contents in single page tells your audience what all to expect in the report. It tells that you have been detailed in presenting the business plan, meaning you have covered almost everything that your audience will be looking forward to. If the content is not there, it becomes very boring because they have to flip through the pages. It's very difficult to find the right items that somebody will be liking to look for. Executive summary. You should give your best shot, because know that it is the executive summary which is going to be read by everybody. And many of them, maybe 90% of them, will not have the time to really go beyond the executive summary pages, because there is a short of time and they have to sift through so many business plans. So they will always try to read the executive summary, and if somebody has the time, maybe they will read the concluding paragraph or something. And if reading the executive summary, somebody find compelling reason to flip through the pages and know more about certain things, they will only then go through. But if executive summary itself is not so attractive, it's not covering the core idea, core competitive advantages, core philosophies through which you are actually going to be successful, the reason, if it doesn't emerge out of the executive summary, people will not read them forward. Then the business. Business is everything. It's the background of the business, and the business makes, market makes, product makes, what is the pain and it will tell your audience where do you come from and where you are now. Competitive advantages, including value proposition, Strategies for operating management means how you think that your operation is going to be the most efficient operation. Then how you plan for a lean system, supply and bias management, so that your input cost also is kind of optimally reduced, minimal. Then the resources. Resources is very wide. It includes your input resources, it includes your management resources, marketing resources, operation resources, your technology, access to technology, maybe financial resources as well. So we are going to discuss that moving forward. Then comes financial outlay and financial performance, meaning the projected financials. Number 8 is risk, opportunities, rewards and sensitivities. So what are the risks that you foresee, or the biggest risk that you foresee that may actually have huge impact on your business? Then how you are going to work around or overcome those risks and create a unique opportunity around that, and how your execution of this whole plan is going to create rewards for you as well as for your investors, so that your investors would be interested to fund. Then the sensitivities, meaning there are parameters on which your business performance will depend, and for changing a little bit of any of these parameters, say your selling price goes down by 5%, how your bottom line or profit is going to change. That shows how sensitive is your business performance on selling price or input cost or labor cost, interest rate, etc., etc. So how sensitive is your business on all these parameters that are potential killer of your business, maybe, to exaggerate. Then conclusion. Conclusion is not all that essential, but then in conclusion you can actually drive home the point, or in a very concise manner you can actually kind of mold the decision process of your audience, meaning whatever they want to decide about your business plan, you can actually help them to make that decision. You can mold their opinion, their kind of philosophies or whatever they're thinking in a you can channelize that into something by pointing out or focusing on your key advantages or key strengths. So they'll revisit at the end, okay, so these are the points, right, so this is a good business. More importantly, people say that first impression and the last impression should be wonderful. Even if the whole body of the presentation is not so well, but if the conclusion is wonderful, it's going to be a winning proposition. Because even in a lecture, if your last sentence is wonderful, perhaps people will give you a standing ovation. But if you talk so exciting things, interesting things, but you end in a very naive manner, not so attractive manner, perhaps you don't win the audience heart. So conclusion gives you an opportunity to say something wonderful. Then the appendix, it contains all elaborate calculations like detailed profit loss account, then balance sheet, etc., etc. You can give your market research, glimpses of the market research that you have done, and many other things that will overload the body. You don't want to unnecessarily load that. So you can come there, means it can come there. As I said, there are many templates. Harvard Business Review has this template. Then Sequoia Capital, who are conspicuous investors in India, majority of the startup that you think they're making noise and they're becoming successful, chances are very high Sequoia has been the first investor in those companies. They also continue to invest as the companies grow. So when somebody has been kind of evaluating thousands of business plans and they are funding, they're seeing that people becoming successful, whatever template they suggest, we have every reason to think that it's kind of getting something from the horse's mouth. I actually like this one. It is by Forbes and written by Dave Lavinsky. This is also wonderful. Every one of them is wonderful, but you will notice that they kind of talk about the same elements, but in a slightly different manner, not really significantly different. There are some nuances, and that aside, they have the major same elements. So I have given the references also at some point, and you can visit them, and if you are really writing a business plan, you can follow any one of them, but I am going to follow the one that I have referred at the beginning. First chapter, after your cover page and contents, first chapter is executive summary. What should contain there? Executive summary should contain everything about your business, because you should remain alert, mindful that this is the only portion that people are going to read. So in a couple of pages, maybe 2 pages, you have the opportunity to bring everything and show people that there are compelling reason to believe that your business is going to be successful. So that should be your motivation, your driving force while writing executive summary. So it starts with business, meaning what business it is. Then the team. Then the proposal, meaning what the proposition, what proposal means, what the pain point that you are solving and how you are solving. Why now? What is the relevance, the big picture? What is the technology domain, means how the technology is progressing, and why this is the right time for this entire marketplace to depend on, like say 5G. If 5G is just coming, as we know, so there will be many related businesses which are particularly important for 5G. So you can always say that 5G is just coming and this business the right time for this. If I don't do it, tomorrow somebody else will do and become successful. Why it will succeed? So you give all compelling reasons for it to be success. What is the reward? Meaning particularly rewards refers to the rewards that you are going to give to the investors, meaning how they are going to exit with what, how many times their investment is going to be multiplied. Measure risks and how you can minimize them. Obviously, this is the topic. Executive summary for most readers, it will be the only few pages that they will read. Look at what Van Evans say. Van Evans wrote the book, and I have given the reference at the bottom, or maybe some other places also, and I find this book is wonderful. So this is just a line copied from there. This entire presentation is inspired by his book. Spend time on executive summary, nurture it, hone it, and edit it remorselessly. Even give it to professional to edit. It may be the best investment you make. Nothing is exaggerated. It's so true, because these two pages are going to either make or break your business. Make the first impression. As I said, when you meet somebody, you create an impression in first 15 seconds, that there is a saying. Similarly, when you read the summary, you create impression about the whole business plan. Whatever is there, it's very difficult to modify that. You create something not so impressive, you won't be able to impress writing so much in the body. So give your best shot. But then don't keep a single word in the summary which you can remove without making significant value reduction, meaning that if a word can be eliminated, just eliminate. Remain as precise as possible. Chapter 2 is the business, meaning your business. That has 2 subsections. One is background, another is business mix by segment. Means you have to show or present it there. First part is the background. Background has many parts. You brief your audience on the bare essentials. See, background contains your business, meaning where you come from, and for whom, means what pain, and who has the pain, and why now, and where these people reside, meaning the customer segment. Then how you're going to solve, where are you now, meaning up to what extent you have done the progress. Highlight the traction. Traction means if you have made any progress whatsoever. Suppose you are incubated by some organization, so that is a traction. Suppose you have talked to some big persons, he has become your mentor, is a traction. You got your first customer, is a traction. You got your product validated, is traction. So highlight the traction that you have achieved. We will briefly set out why business poised to enjoy a substantial competitive advantage. Introduce more details. you have given something in the executive summary. Now bring them in more detail here. This is where the reader is introduced to the business, where you set out clearly and concisely what makes your business tick, why your business is going to be successful. In background, there are 5 major items. There may be many. So opener, goals and objectives, strategies, resources, and basic financials. Just give a summary of the financials, nothing beyond the summary. So first is the opener. Opener again is the opener of the background. The opener should be just one paragraph containing the following. Opener should not, it means nothing should be too much voluminous or wordy or anything. So here in the opener you say who you are, meaning your team and your business. So you try to focus that, okay, these are the people who have teamed together to solve this pain, etc. What product or services it focuses on, which main customer group. So here comes the customer segment also, business going to serve, where it is based, so location, where else it has operation, maybe have a branch somewhere or collaboration with some company, maybe in India, maybe outside. Without success means, have you validated your product? Have you been able to acquire one customer, 2 customers, or maybe many customers? By which year you want to achieve certain goals that you have set, etc. Goals and objectives. So goals and objectives, particularly objectives, are very important. Goals, mission, vision, these are slightly kind of subjective, whereas objectives are really objective, meaning that you have a defined kind of goal to achieve, becomes an objective. So your goals is to become customer centric, meaning that you have studied your customer through market research, you have realized the pain that they have, clearly defined the solutions that are there in the marketplace, and then you understand what kind of a solution is going to give a better, more effective solution to this audience, etc. And then you define how you are going to, means what is the metrics that you use to understand that you are customer focused. Like, for example, it may be that 40% of your customer is rating you as excellent, or they are fully satisfied. And then you have a target that by 2020 perhaps we are going to achieve this. Because whatever you do, initial product will have some troubles or the others, so you have to continue to do the troubleshooting and then come up with a model that customer will fall in love with. You may set the goal in terms of market share also, like 10% market share by 2020, whatever. So some goal, there should be some goal. Goals are kind of directional, meaning that it's kind of subjective. Objectives are specific, kind of objective. So you may have come across the useful acronym called SMART. This is how objectives are defined, not really goals. And SMART stands for specific, meaning you have a specific target. And they're measurable, meaning if you achieve that, you know that, okay, this is the metric, we have achieved that. Or you can tell your team that these are our objectives, and they know where we stand, 30%, 90%, or 100%. And attainable. It is easily attainable, it's not something that unsurmountable or something. And then it is relevant, it's not something which is kind of crazy. And then time limited. You set a goal of time on a temporal scale that by this time we are going to achieve this. Mission, vision, and goals. These are kind of mission is how you differentiate yourselves from the competitors. Vision is where do you want to see yourself moving forward in the long run. Values are what is your standard, your ethical standard or your standard in response to maybe safety, maybe health, maybe moral behavior, etc., etc. Your audience is not so much interested about mission, vision, goals. They are more interested about your objective. What metric, clear metric you would like to achieve at what time, they are more interested. So mission, vision, and goals, they may go slightly forward, meaning that you can actually put them into appendix as well. So let us remain on the objectives. Then a strategy. You defined your problem that you are going to solve, what strategy you are going to adopt to solve that in a competitive manner, meaning how you are going to beat the competitors, how you are going to, more importantly, there are challenges, how you are going to overcome the challenges. These are the strategies. So you tell the audience that these are the strategies that you are going to adopt to overcome, alleviate all whatever comes on our way. Then comes resources. Resources is very wide. It includes the natural resources, the human capital, the managerial skill, the marketing skill, the operation management skill. Everything together subsumes into resources. So you have to really, this is an opportunity to really bring to light your most important positives. You can showcase that our team has this skill. We have the early staffs who possess this. Some from marketing, some from finance, some may have operational skill, and the like. And there may be other, like said, you have access to technology, etc. List of resources. So it just means explaining them in tabular manner is these are the things that comes under resources. And then you give a very glimpse of your financials. How much money you need and how you're going to spend that money. And if you have made some sales, so show your profitability statement. If you have not made, then show some projected profitability that over a 5-year period, these are our maybe gross profit, operating profit and net profit, and then maybe cash flow. Business mix means so long we were under background, now it is business mix under the business. Business mix clearly defines what are the products that you are selling and which segment these products are being catered to. So you know different segments. Out of them, which is your flagship product, meaning which is giving you the maximum revenue, maximum profit. So you tell your audience that this is our flagship product and this is a segment, so that they also have a clear understanding of your business. Customer segment, we've discussed many a time, so let me just flip through. You may actually identify niche market, meaning you make your product so different with a very important feature that the customer love, and for the presence of it, customer will not buy your competing product, but they will love your product. Chapter 3, market demand. So you do some market research and understand the demand supply, and you show your audience that there is sufficient space for us as well as for the competitors. Don't downplay the competitors. You have to always talk about the competitors, otherwise your audience will think that you don't have much idea about competitors. So you will remain unprepared. That's the most important part. If you talk loudly about your competitors, that there are so much of competition in the market, at the same time you say, we have these strategies to beat the competitors. Your audience or your backers or your investors are going to think, okay, so you know the competitors and you are prepared to beat the competitors. That is the best case scenario. If you fail to bring or say just gloss over the issue of competition as if there is no competition, your investors or your audience is going to think that perhaps you have no idea about the competition or the market, and you will be caught napping by them, your competitors, because you are not prepared to fight the competition. Market demand, again continuing. So here there are risks and opportunities, and know for sure if you are thinking of any opportunities, there are tremendous amount of risk, otherwise this opportunity will not remain there. So you have to talk about the risk. What are your big risks, the biggest risk, maybe 1 to 3, and what are their impact on your performance? More importantly, what is the likelihood of them manifesting? There may be many risks, but then you can actually prove that many of them have very low likelihood, less likelihood of happening. So you can play down on them. And if there are opportunities also, so you have to show that these opportunities can actually be exploited because of this reason. And how the market share is changing. So how the leading players are capturing marketplace. If they are growing very fast, capturing marketplace, this is to be worried about. The market must be sufficient, as I said. Your market must buy your product, meaning that there should be demand for your product. There will be demand if the product is well differentiated and it has efficacy, it has value for your customer. You have a well conceived plan for creating a brand that is going to connect people emotionally, and then you can acquire and retain loyal customer, increase customer base moving forward. So we'll close this session here, and then we'll restart back soon. Thank you very much.